Hey Capricorn, so it's me Alexis. Welcome back to my astrology channel, and today I'm going to go ahead and give you guys your full moon horoscope. This full moon is going to be happening on August 15th, and it's going to be in 22 degrees Aquarius. So yeah, I want to go ahead and get that horoscope for you guys, and this will apply if you are a Capricorn sun or rising. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Capricorn, this full moon shenanigan stuff is happening in your second house and your eighth house. So Aquarius will be ruling your second house, and then Leo is gonna be ruling your eighth house. So yeah, let's go ahead and dissect that. Your Sun and Venus are gonna be super conjunct to each other in your eighth, and then the full moon is going to be in Aquarius in your second house, and then the transiting Saturn is going to be in your first house. So what the heck does all this mean? So with the Sun conjuncted Venus in your eighth house, I feel like you've been focused on a lot about, losses. So maybe you've been contemplating like a loss that you had recently. Maybe you owe someone some money. Maybe you're contemplating about the power dynamics that you have with someone right now. Maybe you lost someone or lost something, but you're contemplating about that, and you're sitting here thinking about, what can I do about this that will define myself in a way that is a good reflection of me. So you've been doing that lately. And then with the Sun conjunctive Venus, there's an implication that like maybe there's relationships involved. So I mean, the eighth house is kind of like a relationship house in the sense that, it shows, what you owe people or what people owe you, power dynamics, like the whole notion of giving and taking and losing, stuff like that. And then, so you've been really focused on that. And, if I had to kind of like do a duality thing with the second house and the eighth house, the second house is all about it's all about receiving, it's all about earning, it's about getting things, but the eighth house is about losing things. So you've been focused on your losses. And with this full moon in Aquarius though, the call right now is that you should not only look at what you're, losing, but also what you're getting. In a way, this is kind of like the full moon's way of saying like, hey, you need to count your blessings. And yeah, you gotta do that. And the reason why you gotta, count your blessings and kind of, also pay attention to what you're receiving is because, Saturn is transiting your first house right now. And the first house is the house of identity. This is your perceived notion of who you are. And lately, you've been struggling with that. As a Capricorn rising, you really pay a lot of attention to how much vulnerability that you kind of give yourself to others. And with Saturn transiting your first house, you're being really critical about who you are, and you've been really like reconstructing your sense of identity. And by paying attention to yourself, by paying attention to your self-worth psychologically, or maybe your own money in a literal way, this is going to help you have a better sense of self. I mean, it's okay. It's really important for you to kind of pay attention to your sense of losses. It's okay for you to kind of see what you're losing, or, really pay attention to the power dynamics of other people. But there's another power dynamic, and that is between you and yourself, like your relationship with yourself. And that is something that you may need to pay attention to with this upcoming full moon, because, lately you've been thinking about, what am I going to lose? What do I have to give up? Stuff like that. You might want to change your thoughts and say, what can I start getting? Or, what can I start earning? What do I deserve? Stuff like that. So, yeah, that is going to be the astrological part for your reading or your horoscope. And then let me go ahead and draw some cards for you. So I will say, like, with Saturn transiting the first, like, I would say, like, it's not an easy time for you guys. You've been really self-critical with yourself. Maybe you kind of realize that maybe, you've been too restrictive of yourself, or maybe you gotta set some boundaries with yourself. And I really think that by paying attention to your second house and really just, paying attention to like, stabilizing yourself rather than paying attention to what you're losing, I think you're gonna do well. Because, I do think that, building and demolishing parts of your life, that's going to be inevitable. And while it's good to focus on demolishing parts of your life because, because it's a part of life, building yourself up is also a thing. And, with the Saturn transiting your first, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you have to demolish some things. But hey, You gotta demolish so that you know how to build. There'd be no point if you demolished like a building or something, but you didn't build anything new or cool on top of it, you know? So, yeah. Let me go ahead and shuffle for a bit. Oh! Okay, Seven of Swords. I had that last time. For Sag. That's upright. Oh, no. That was for Scorpio. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay. 2 cards fell out, and those are gonna be your cards. Oh my god. It's like a heavy spread. Like, this is like, it's not a, it's like a, ooh, heavy. So, I got the 7 of Swords. I got the High Priestess. And, oh, my like phone was about to run out of battery. And yeah, I'm filming this on my phone. And I got the 10 of Swords. Okay, so as of right now, ooh, this is a very strong spread to tell you to trust yourself. Here's why. You got the 7 of Swords. I don't know if it's you, I don't know if it's someone else, but there's someone right now being a little bit shady, or they're doing something a little bit risky and ultimately not helpful, very corruptive, kind of, you know, risky for sure. And then you got the 10 of Swords, and this shows, you know, that maybe whatever this person is doing is really putting a weight on you. Maybe you're dying to know what the heck this person is doing, and you really want to hecking know, and because you really want to know, it's really causing you a lot of stress and perhaps some anxiety. So as of right now, maybe there's someone in your life that may be doing something shady, or maybe someone in your life where you don't really quite know what they're doing right now, and it's driving you kind of crazy, and you're kind of like, I want to know what they're doing. I really want to know what they're doing because I want to know what I'm going to lose. Like, I want to really, you know, reevaluate this power dynamic that I have no control over. So that's that. And the answer here is the High Priestess. And now you're probably thinking, okay, what does that mean? So the High Priestess, to me, when I think of the High Priestess, I think of a person who is very intuitive and someone who believes in their intuition. And I think this is kind of like your Aquarius full moon in the 2nd house calling for you. It's telling you like, hey, you may not know what's going on right now tangibly, but follow your gut instinct, because I think you may know more than you're letting on. And maybe the reason why you're feeling so anxious is because you're not really trusting your intuition about this other person, assuming this is about another person. I mean, I don't know if it's about another person or maybe it's about you, but there is something shady going on, or there is something, you know, risky going on. And you really want to know what to do about that. And I think for you, if you really want to stop stressing out over it, you really got to start trusting yourself, and really just, you know, trusting that, you know, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. And that is a sentiment that you need to know for the Aquarius full moon in your 2nd house. Because part of the 2nd house is about, you know, stability and like lasting through a lot of conflict. And, you know, half of, you know, withstanding, you know, the losses in life is having a strong foundation to really, you know, stand those losses. And you need to build that foundation rather than just paying attention to what you're going to lose. So, yeah, I think that is pretty much my tarot reading for you, Capricorn. I think like this message is pretty clear. I do want to say, first of all, that, you know, I feel like, you know, the 7 of Swords things, this kind of reminds me of what's going on in your 8th house right now with the Sun and Venus being there in the 8th house. And this right here kind of shows what happens if you don't pay attention to your 2nd house and this is your answer. This spread was actually pretty clear for me, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Again, this video applies if you are a Capricorn Sun or Rising. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that everything in this reading resonates, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great full moon. Let me go ahead and shuffle these and put these away.